Hello good people, I'm going to talk about the interquartile range. The interquartile range is the difference between the upper and the lower quartile. These are also known as Q3 and Q1 respectively. At this stage, it would be fair enough to ask what are Q1 and Q3 and what happened to Q2. In order to answer that, let's look at this data set. We have the heights in centimeters of 12 people. And the data set has already been arranged in ascending order, so from lowest value to highest value. In order to determine the upper and lower quartile, we need to divide the data set into quarters. The easiest way to do this is to firstly divide it into half. In other words, we are trying to find the median value. In this case, we are going to do this by inspection. There are 12 people and therefore 12 data points. So I'm just going to quickly number them. The median, or the middle value, is between position 6 and 7, so it would be here. The median is also known as quartile 2, and we can designate it as Q2. Now I have two halves, the upper half and the lower half. I'm going to divide each half into half again. So the upper half has 6 data points. The middle value for these 6 data points would be between 9 and 10, so it would be here. This is known as Q3. I can do the same thing to the lower half of the data set. So the median value for the lower half of the data set is between positions 3 and 4, so it would be here. This is known as Q1. So what are the values for Q1, Q2, and Q3? Well, Q2 is the median, and the median happens to fall between two values. Both of them are 175. I need to calculate the average of these two values, but seeing how both of them are 175, the average is also going to be 175. So I can say that Q2 is 175 centimeters. What about Q3? Well, Q3 falls between 185 and 187. The average of 185 and 187 is 186 centimeters. So Q3 is 186. Q1 falls between 167 and 169. The average or the mean of these two values is 168. So I can say that Q1 is 168 centimeters. Now that I have these values, I can calculate the interquartile range. So I can say that the IRQ equals Q3 minus Q1. In this particular case, that means 186 centimeters minus 168 centimeters. And that will give me a range of 18 centimeters. Let's compare this to the range. What would the range be? Well, the range is the maximum value minus the minimum value. In this case, that would be 205 centimeters minus 151 centimeters. And that would give me 54 centimeters. The interquartile range is quite handy because it tends to exclude the outliers. In this particular set, we have 205 and 151. The reason we would consider these two values outliers is because the difference between them and their neighbor is bigger than any other difference between any other two neighboring values. So for example, the difference between 205 and 190 is 15, while the difference between 190 and 187 is only 3. The difference between 151 and 167 is 16, while the difference between 167 and 167 is 0. Finally, note that the interquartile range contains 50% of the data values. That is all for now, and I will see you on the flip side.